Hey guys, a couple of minutes late, but here's today's live reading. It's from The Last Vampire, The Girl Unleashed, Book 5. And I will be taking off to go swimming right after this, so excuse the poofy hair. We may be dogus interruptus. Leela and Lois choose to go barking when they want to. And so we do these every day at noon. We post on Friday the menu for the following week. Noon seems to be when our friends in Europe and Australia and Canada can join us. Well, Canada, almost the same time zone. And you guys in the States can pull up your lunch, or if you're in Hawaii, your breakfast, and join us too. So here we go with The Girl Unleashed. This is book 5, a snippet from the beginning of the story. Craig grunted as he yanked on the pull chain and the snowblower engine roared to life. He pulled his gloves on tighter and pushed down the lever to move the machine forward into the waist-high snow that had blown in front of the garage. The drift was so high and thick that he could barely get the garage door to open. He shook his head in frustration while the spinning auger carved into the obstacle, chewed up the snow, and ejected it from the chute toward the backyard. Unfortunately, the engine choked on the sheer mass of the snow it had to contend with. It wheezed and died. The third time it had done so since he came out to clear the driveway. Almost out of breath, he hauled the equipment back into the garage and stepped around it until he was behind the drift. He admired the small rectangular dent the snowblower managed to make before it died again. The wind howled and pelted him in the cheeks with stinging wet snow. I can't believe how hard this is coming down. Geez, I can barely see the house from here. He spun to take another look at the snowblower and sighed heavily. The old girl can't handle this much snow. It's no use. With a glum shake of his head, he stepped inside and shoved it back into the shed at the back of the garage. His feet sank into the knee-deep snow at the low point of the drift when he stalked out of the garage and headed to the side door of the house. He squinted his eyes, which began to water. Man, it's stupid cold. It feels like January out here. When he reached the back step, he turned to look at his footprints, some of which had already been partially filled in. This is one heck of a blizzard. Vicky and Alexis greeted him at the door as he walked in and stomped the snow off his boots on the rug. That's it? Vicky folded her arms. I thought you were going to clear the snow. Craig shook his head and laughed. Yeah, that's not happening. My little snowblower is tough, but even she can't handle how much is out there. We're getting dumped on right now. He peeled his snowsuit off and hung it on the hook and stepped into the kitchen while he rubbed his hands together and blew warm air across his skin. It's seriously nasty out there. I haven't seen anything like it in years. The vampire stepped over to the patio door and watched the snow blowing around and drifting all over the yard and the driveway. Why did you go out now anyway? It's coming down so hard you can't even see your footprints out there anymore, said Vicky. The driveway would be covered again by the time you were done. He pulled a mug out from the cabinet and placed it on the counter. My snowblower can't handle too much at once. During a blizzard like this, I usually go out in shifts. I clear a layer, let it build up, clear another layer, and so on. I guess I waited too long to go out there for the first round. Are we screwed then? Alexis asked and raised her eyebrows. Stuck in here until it all melts? He laughed while he tore open a hot chocolate packet. I don't know about that, but there's definitely considerable work ahead of us. I'm not sure how we'll clear it all out. Honestly, it might take half a day and some shovels. On the bright side, we won't go to school today. She pumped her fist. Craig shook his head. Thankfully, school is canceled. I couldn't take you right now if you offered me $1 million. No chance. I wouldn't be able to even get the back wheels of the SUV out of the garage. Vicky tilted her head while she watched the snow swirl in the air. I thought it was spring. Why do we have so much snow? It's April. Isn't April a time for warmer weather? Not in Wisconsin, Alexis scoffed. Craig filled his mug with water and slid it into the microwave. In Wisconsin, you're never really safe from snow. Maybe when you reach June, you're safe for a few months. This is the latest I've seen this much snow, though. Alexis stood beside the other girl. The year after your mom and I were married, there was a blizzard like this in May. Clearing it is the worst part, said Craig. You can't do it like you would any other snowfall. There's so doggone much of it that you're kind of stuck. His daughter pulled her phone out and opened her weather app. But it looks like it'll warm up again in the next few days. Next week it's supposed to be 50 degrees out. Maybe we should wait. Nice try. After the microwave beeped, Craig withdrew his mug and lifted it to his lips to blow on it a little. If we wait, we make all kinds of problems for ourselves. The snow starts to melt and all that new water will sink to the bottom of the pile and be absorbed by it. It'll be 10 times heavier and more impossible to lift. Can we simply wait until it melts completely? Vicky turned to look at him. If it's getting warmer, we don't really need to clear the driveway. He took a sip of his hot chocolate. Nope, that's not how it works either. Melting could take even longer. Sorry, girls, we can't avoid it. There'll be hard work needed to get us out of this. The school won't let you stay home for a week because of one day of snow. Alexis grumbled a protest. I hate shoveling. It seems like such a waste if you have a snowblower. I agree, but unless you're willing to buy me a nicer one that can handle this kind of weather, we'll be stuck here shoveling when we have this kind of a load dropped on us. She shrugged. I have a job now. How much is one of those fancy pants snowblowers? Her father laughed as he joined them at the window and put his arm around her shoulder. Something that can handle more than a foot of snow at a time without choking? I bet somewhere in the $600 range. Whoa. Now you know why I use that little $200 one instead. He shook his head. It sure is pretty, but it really stinks that I can't get this snow off the driveway now. It would make the work later much more It would make the work later much more manageable. Vicky turned, walked to the side door, and retrieved her boots. What are you doing? Alexis asked. I have an idea. She tied her boots and pulled her coat on. Where's the shovel in there? Craig gave her a blank, confused stare. It's just inside the garage door. Why? She smiled as she pulled her hat over her ears. I'll be back in a minute. She stepped outside and slammed the back door shut behind her. Father and daughter exchanged concerned glances. What do you think she's doing? I have no clue. He sipped his hot chocolate, but I hope she's careful out there. I don't know if vampires can freeze to death or not. Outside, Vicky strode through the deep snow she held forward to stay warm. When she reached the side door of the garage, she stepped in and closed it behind her, enveloping herself in darkness. Phew. That really is coming down hard. She pushed the button next to the door to open the big garage door again, and the brilliant white glare made her squint. Vicky saw the shovel resting beside the door and picked it up. She dragged it to the middle of the opening, just beyond the snow. Okay, Vicky, let's see. If you try to do too much, you'll break the shovel on your first pass. It's not as strong as you. Test it first. After she had taken a few digs into the drift and checked how much strain was put on the shovel, she stepped back and nodded. It should be about 3 passes. You can work with that. While Craig and Alexis stared on with growing confusion, she waved at them and moved to the far end of the garage near the fence that lined the driveway. I'll have to move from left to right, 1 row at a time. Push it toward the yard. Now, let's see if this will actually work. The vampire clutched the handle of the shovel, raised her chin, and closed her eyes to concentrate. As she breathed deeply and exhaled a fog of vapor into the frozen April air, she could feel the blood in her body begin to rush through her veins. Her stomach tightened ever so slightly. It's working. Only a little more. After a few more deep breaths, the hair on the back of her neck stood erect. She was ready. In a flash, she shoveled the top layer of the snow off the driveway. A rapid flurry commenced, one scoop after another, until they all landed in a pile in the backyard. She moved down the length of the driveway while father and daughter watched with their jaws hanging open. The rapid pace of her movement sounded like a loud hummingbird flapping her wings. Within a few seconds, she had removed the top layer across the entire driveway. When she reached the end, she double-checked her senses to make sure no one was watching. Nobody is outside within at least a few blocks. You're good. She resumed her task and attacked the second layer along the length of the driveway, then turned and cleared all that remained to reveal the pavement beneath. The entire driveway was cleared in under 30 seconds. She ran back to the garage to stand there and view the results of her work. I cleared it before the snow had a chance to cover it again. She nodded in approval, then looked at the bottom of the shovel. It's melted a little right at the edge, which I suppose is to be expected with that kind of speed, but not too bad. The snow must have kept it from melting too much. Vicky returned the shovel to its place near the door, pressed the button to close it, and walked back to the house. This time she was met by Craig. Holy cow! I almost dropped my mug watching that. Since when do you have that kind of control over your powers? Vicky shook her head as she kicked her boots off. I took a chance. I haven't really tried to force it much, but it looks like I can do it. And now I'm famished. She hung her coat and immediately went to the cupboard where they kept the snacks. Hey, eat what you want. You earned it, girl. He patted her on the shoulder. This could really come in handy, Vicky, Alexis smiled. If you have more control over your powers, we can put it to good use. She shrugged as she stuffed a few potato chips in her mouth and walked to the fridge to get a drink. Okay, that is today's reading from The Girl Unleashed from the Last Vampire. That story is about a girl, if you haven't joined in on this series yet, which is really good, it's about a vampire girl who's put to sleep by her parents in her coffin one night about 600 years ago, and when the villagers and when there's a group about to storm the castle, and when she wakes up, her home has been turned into a bed and breakfast, and it's Craig and Alexis who are staying there. Don't want to give too much away for those who haven't read it yet, but hi Charlie, hi Diane, and thanks for joining in. And we'll be doing these every day at noon. We'll post the menu for the next week, every day, Monday through Friday at noon. We'll post the menu for next week on that Friday, so you can make a note of your favorites or come and find out about a new one. And the running is going great. I'm signed up for at least one 5K, and I'm looking for another one. Have to wait till it's not 100 degrees around here, but fall is coming. Looking forward to it. And thank you guys for all your support. I hope you're enjoying the new series, The Witch Next Door. The next one comes out next week, Which Way to Go. And let me know if you have any questions. If there's an old book from Order Saren that you'd love to hear a reading from, just let me know. We'll put it on the menu. And we may even start to do a little bit of like an author note after each one. So I can keep chatting with you guys, and I will talk to you soon.